Welcome back here for the live coverage of finals football from the Central Coast Regional Sporting and Recreation Centre. New South Wales Touch Football Country Championships for 2022. And boy, are you in for a treat. The men's open division here. Top of the table, Central Coast Dolphins to get first use of the footy against the Newcastle Knights, who finished in at fourth. It is a red-hot Central Coast side featuring multiple Origin players in this lineup, and straight away they work at pace here through Lennon. Kane provides it short. Moffat. Both the Moffat boys doing great things at state level, and getting to ground very quickly with a slide and dive is Chris Lennon, another Hunter West Hornets representative. Does a great job on this occasion. 1-0. Their first attacking raid produces a result. So a good start for the Central Coast side as Newcastle now get first use of the ball, and already behind the 8 ball for that matter, but they've got a couple of big guns in their lineup as well. Look for Blake Potts in the number 9. New South Wales representative as well. Brother of Jeff Potts, who we just saw in that victorious Women's Open Newcastle side from the previous fixture. Not a great ball there delivered though to Atkins, who had to reach out in front of him and still couldn't reel it in. So the pressure mounts here as German comes forward, just shy of the halfway line now. Look at the roll on they're developing here as Flaherty goes for a run. Belcher straightening here is Niebel. Still options here. They try to work the pass around the corner, but a little bit too much pressure. Well jammed in there from Isaac Jones. Some wide ball here for Newcastle. They look to work it up towards the halfway line. Still no touch. Good meters on offer for the Knights. Transition, not a particularly smooth one though, but Ty eventually joins the action. Straightening once more here through Ehlers. They pick up another set to work with. It'll be music to the ears of the Newcastle side. It's 1-0 early on in this one. Ehlers plays it about 10 metres away from the try line. Touch comes up there from Niebel. And working hard is Flaherty. Ehlers in an acting half. Ehlers all the way through into the in goal, looking for support. However, the touch was there in time. So the Dolphins survive on this occasion, and they maintain that little margin they've worked towards in the early stages here. 1-0 as they head towards the interchange area. The transition is a pretty good one as well, as I'm now joined in the commentary booth by David Stone. Stoney, welcome to the action here as a great ball is fired across. And a touch comes in, a very important one as well for Newcastle.
Yeah, how are you, mate? It's good to join you. Been a little bit busy as a staff member, running around the place and the venue. Everyone's doing well, but we've cleared a fair few things up and looking forward to this men's Opens game.
Yeah, semi-final footy here. For those of us just joining, it is 1-0 in favour of the Dolphins, their first use of the ball, resulting in a touchdown. Kane offers it here to German. Wider still now with Lennon, who is the try scorer so far. Very quick Chris Lennon, who now hops in at acting half, right on that 7-metre mark. Moffat, what a ball that is. Ardita with the width. It's all backwards. It's all beautiful. It is the second try of the match there, and Kaya Ardita goes in.
Yeah, that's one of Josh Moffat's pet plays, the sweep plays, and the Newcastle were caught a little bit too tight there, and just a nice floater ball over the top to Kaya Ardita, the speedster of touch football.
I was saying in the preamble before we got underway here, he might well be the quickest player running around in Australia at the moment when it comes to touch. He's absolute lightning, is Ardita.
Yeah, there is potential. I haven't seen too many that could foot it with him, but there is a lot of fast players. It'd be good to see the old Dash for Cash come back one day, just to determine who the fastest is.
I like the way you think. I'm not sure exactly whether you're in the events coordination part of this business, Stoney, but I reckon we might need to incorporate that for potentially the next Origin fixture we have, as the Dolphins leave this one behind. So 2 tries to nil. Good field position here for the Knights and a bit of chat back too. So they'll be marched further 10 metres. Potts there in support. Hops in at acting half now as it's worked away here through a couple of extra supporting players. Now Atkins. Touch comes in though from Belcher. Atkins works it back towards the middle here. Potts drops it off. Potts again losing his footing. Still play on though. Atkins retreats a little bit. Tries to recalibrate things. Last play now. They're looking for that strike dump. Not a bad one, but watchful in defence was Hemi Niebel, and he shut it down pretty quickly, Stoney.
Yeah, good defensive set there by the Central Coast Dolphins. You can see the links are dropping and up and holding space, but they're also the middle Hemi Niebel up and holding space for the defence. And it was a good defensive set by the Central Coast Dolphins.
So Moffat caught there, losing his footing as he went to play it. That slows things down just a little bit. Rainer Badior, and then off now to Luke Moffat. 2 Moffat boys out there. Nice quick strike dump here. Beautiful ball at the face. However, well picked off there from the wing on Newcastle. That was beautiful defence.
Yeah, young Doherty, good little read in defence there. He's one of the State of Origin 20s wingers, and a really good read there in defence by the winger.
So further upfield they push now. Good pressure jamming in there from Lachlan Rainer Badior in defence. Off it comes once more here. Ellers drives forward for Newcastle. 10 metres shy, last play now. Options out wide. Ardita's going to be hard to beat, but they might have done enough. No, just a touch at the death there for Kaya Ardita.
Yeah, it was a good read. He relied on his speed, and he got released from the inside out, which was really good defence by the Dolphins again.
So Moffat and then Kane and Moffat once more. Quick hands here from the Dolphins. All looks quite pretty. They get those quick substitutions onto the field. Little bobble with the ball there. Referee says play on though. 10 metres into enemy territory now. Such great pace about their play, the Central Coast Dolphins. A few dummies as well. Niebel, long ball. They step up in front of it once more, though, the Knights.
Once again, a good read by the winger. Central Coast are a lot of left to right plays, but a really good read, and he's a very tall boy over there, so it'd be hard to get the ball over his head.
So the touch comes in from Ollie Jones as they keep marching upfield. 10 metres shy of the halfway line now as Richardson works towards halfway. Potts now with ball in hand, provides it on for Brennan. Good metres on offer here for the Knights. Blake Potts once more, fires it wide for Ryan Potts. Oh, the flick pass comes out. It nearly fell there as well for Lennon. Not too many can catch him. He's sort of up in that upper echelon in terms of pace as well. He would probably actually put a bit of pressure on Ardita.
Yeah, he probably would. They're a real fast team, the Central Coast, but they're recycling the ball so well. So that's why they're getting up the other end so easy. Just the ball movement of the Central Coast Dolphins is moving the Knights laterally, and it's really hard to defend that unless they stay up.
Great touch there from Potts, preventing the strike dump. Caught on the second last play here, so they're sticking with them at the moment, the Knights, but they need to get something on the board. 2 tries to nil. Potts fires it wider still to Ryan Potts, so the Potts boys are out there, of course. Like the brother of Jess. Stepping off now is Mitchell. Mitchell picks up some easy metres here. Ellers charging at them like a freight train. Last play now. Atkins at pace. Tried to link up with Ellers, but they were watchful once more. Moffat there in defence.
Yeah, they hit the front door there. There is a possibility they could hit the link out the back later on down the track with that defence style from the coast. But once again, seem to be defending their line really well and absorbing all the pressure from the Knights.
So Ardita out of acting half, and now he pops in there once more as the reinforcements arrive. Moffat driving hard at the line. They're all backpedaling. Great pace about their play here, but really watchful defence there from Matt Atkins. They're at 6s and 7s, but he did a lot of work in defence.
Yeah, he defended that really well. Normally Lennon takes off from half and digs into the line, but on that play he released it early and tried to catch the Knights' defence out. But it was well read by Atkins.
And a forced substitution here as well. German is sent to the sideline, so Moffat will replace him. It's not a particularly big indiscretion or encumbrance for the Central Coast Dolphins, as they're already pretty close to their own box, as Potts drives forward here for the Knights. Big dummy comes. Centre of the field still going here, Potts. Nobody wanting to step up and stop his run.
Yeah, that was a defensive tactic there by the Coast. They were on knife's edge. They were all in all sorts, and they just decided to drop to the line. but they didn't press forward after they'd done that, so that's why the penalty was caused.
Of course, you must push up towards that 7 metre mark and ensure that you're encroaching on the offensive side. Otherwise, the penalty is going to be ruled by our officials. Potts gets it back. Straightens up. Oh, it's unfortunate there. We haven't seen a slippage in a little while. It was very dewy underfoot in the morning, but has cleared up quite a bit. So unlucky on that occasion there for the Knights.
Early this morning there was a bit of dew and a bit of slipping around, and a few coaches have said the stadium field and also field 1 are a little bit slippery underfoot even if it's dry.
So here are the Dolphins on the attack once more. Belcher. Flaherty. Speaking of slippery surfaces, well, he's made them look like they're on ice skates there. Flaherty set it up beautifully, and Belcher goes in for the 3rd try. Now it starts to look a little bit of a difficult scenario here for the Knights.
Yeah, they need to be the next ones to hit back, I think, to stay in the game. But once again, just caught on heels, a quick little slip, and Flaherty went through.
Of course, they were red hot in the pool stages. 5 starts for 5 wins, the Central Coast Dolphins. 34 tries, conceding just 11 on the way.
Undefeated, and also I think they're leading the Vaughton Cup from my knowledge, the Sydney champs. So they've got a lot of touch football in them, and they're playing a lot of touch football at the moment. So they're getting towards, bad luck. They're getting towards their peak powers at the moment and building well for State Cup. There's a nice sweeper play there by the Knights that did catch Central Coast shutting in. Whether they go back to that play again here or not, I'm not too sure. We've got a repeat set, I think, for the Knights.
Yeah, we certainly do. Referee playing advantage, none forthcoming, so the extra set now arrives for the Knights. Ty taps it off as Potts is sent back out there to try and conjure up something. Ty in the passive play, they cut out Potts. But they stepped up very quickly, though, the Dolphins. Moffat was one of the defenders. Around about 8 or 9 metres, they go further back still. Atkins then plays it on the 7. Changing the direction, Ty, and they wanted to get the ball popped back on the inside there for Atkins, but watchful defence out on the wing there from the Dolphins. As Ryan Potts delivers. Now Ty on the last. Ty once more. Little jinking run. They've just got all the answers in defence, though.
They do. They look sharp in defence. They're not really biting at the attacking plays either. They're sort of holding space and more reacting to the attack that's coming, but it's working really well for them.
Easy meters on offer there for Lennon. So too for the likes of Kane. Last play now. That looked to be forward out of acting half, but they'll say play on. Luke Kane goes all the way through.
They've called it back. The sideline ref's got it.
Yeah, well, that is the right call if they decide to say that's an indiscretion from acting half. I have a little chat here. I think this will be overturned.
I reckon there's a penalty. Yep, there it is. I think there's a bit of a shoulder charge, and we might see somebody sat down or force subbed here. Oh, called the captain out, I believe.
And it's Ellers who's coming back onto the field here. I'll have a chat with him. This will be interesting to see what happens off the back of this.
Ellers must be the captain of the team, so I think Mr. Baggio is saying next infringement, somebody could be going up the other end. Good chance here for the Dolphins, and they've got their strike weapons on in Kane, Moffat, Lennon.
Well, here is Kane now. Kane will threaten to go for the slide dive. Potts was there along with Atkins to stop things. Back to the 7 metre mark they come. Great conditions here as well for touch footy. Beautiful sunshine out in Tuggerah. As Kane drops it off. Lennon receives it back once more. Moffat at the 7 metre mark. Kane hitting flat. Lennon with the long ball. Ardita keeps the width, or tried to get away in the one movement. Last play now. So they won't get the strike dump to work with. Instead, they'll just kill it on the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins would have preferred to kill it on their side, but we've got the Potts working off the line.
Big dummy too, opening up a bit of space. Here they go, putting the foot down. Ty back through the middle. They'll go all the way past the subs box. So the transition is a little bit slow. Ty not happy with the ruling. He didn't think he was touched. Ellers is back out there now. So an interesting play from the Dolphins. You mentioned there, Stoney, of course, when we kill the play, typically we see the opposite side of where the interchanges occur. It's not a great ball at the face there either. Put way too much pressure on. So That's something the Dolphins will be looking to improve as this match unfolds.
Yeah, them little things can help a game, and it also helps the other team getting to their box, so you can really press an attacking team. And it's basically a press defence where you put the ball over the other side, and it just makes it that little bit harder rucking off out of your own box and getting their fresh legs on. A lot of the time you can get a cheap turnover.
So once more on the attack now, the Dolphins into enemy territory. Niebel. A little bit slower in their approach on this occasion. They'll look to work for the strike dump now. Here they come. Flaherty out to Moffat. It's all too easy, though. That was silky smooth from the Dolphins. 4 tries to 0.
Yeah, we just had Flaherty and Moffat working together on either a Waikato or a girl play, they call it, where it's just a bounce out on the link, and the link was caught pedaling backwards and just flat-footed, and Moffat with his footwork, he's good at the line, nice and close, and we've got Flaherty, who's a really good ball player.
So many good options to pick from for the Dolphins. There's plenty of X-Factor players in this side.
There is. I was talking about the side earlier in the tournament, as we've got Newcastle attacking here. Their links are really good attacking players, but also defensively they're a strong team as well in the links. So a lot of their plays are set up for their link attacking plays, but their middles...
Oh, great ball, though, from Atkins. Will get Newcastle on the board. He just propped up off the right foot, the jump pass, and went a good 30 metres right into the waiting hands of his winger. And they've had to produce something special to crack this very impressive Dolphins defensive line.
Yeah, just a little bit of a mismatch, but back to the Dolphins. Just their whole team and their dynamics of their team. They really got their hard workers in the middle, but their flair comes from their links, and their wingers they get good reads and they got good pace. So the whole ratio of the team has spread really well. But they've been working together for probably 5 years now, I'd say, this group. They won the 20 State Cup a few years ago, and this is the same sort of group playing now. So very young team.
Moffat out here to Lennon. Back to Moffat. You're certainly right, Stoney. It is a very, very young side. So Moffat comes through the middle with Lennon, who went for the slide dive, but they were there in defence. Potts, and also I think Ellis that was out there. They go for the short side raid. Oh, Moffat, great footwork, and the flick pass is produced as well, but no result on the end of it. So Newcastle survive here. They're not done with yet. Margin is 3, 4 tries to 1 with 13 on the clock. Here comes Atkins. Working away now as back onto the pitch is Floyd Ty. Up over halfway they come, the Knights. I'll have to stop on the run there. That'll really quell the momentum just a little bit. Brennan picks up some easy meters. Last play now. Can they conjure up something? They tried to go for the little dummy half scoop, but nothing working there for them, Stoney.
Potts I like the play that Potts just ran. He ran that late switch, and they got Moffat chasing really hard from acting half. The late switch was on. I think that could be a go-to. Just change of direction. Getting the coast biting in when they do that change of direction and shutting down.
And the Dolphins playing that one off the mark. So a changeover in a really good position on the park for the Newcastle Knights. Ty comes forward. Drops it off. No, in fact, no touch there. He was probably trying to work the false touch. He's done a great job of exactly that. So another set to play with here for Newcastle. Potts touches it on that 7-metre mark. Crabs across for just a moment. Oh, loses the footing once more. So still field one, causing plenty of problems.
Yeah, it's a little bit slippery. There does look like being a bit of grass on the field, but just around the 7 metres in the middle, it's actually a little bit muddy under feet when you get on top of the grass, and it is causing a bit of havoc with the defence and the attack.
So Belcher, they now head towards their interchange area. All offside though on Newcastle. So another set to come here for the Dolphins. It's touched here from Belcher, who keeps trying to drive forward. They'll have another chat here, will they? I think Potts could be in a bit of trouble here. Ellis is called out once more, so we've already had the one warning. This could be it. We could see someone being sat down.
I think he's going to the other end. But not sure why the captain's been called out again, but yep, there he goes up the other end, Potts.
So Stoney, for those who might not know 100% how this works with touch football, of course, it's not quite 10 minutes in the bin, but I believe, 2 defensive sets they've got to complete and 2 offensive sets as well?
So 4 completed sets of 6. he'll have to spend up the other end. And it will still be up to Mr. Baggio to bring him back on the field, but that is what the rules state.
Love the air quotations there, as if it's not quite set in stone.
Sometimes referees do tend to forget, but sometimes they're on the ball. So we all have our little instances. And
little hop, skip and a jump as well there from German. Well, that was a pretty crazy piece of play there to beat the diving touch of Brennan.
That is correct. But these three guys, these three referees we got here, these are the top three in Australia, I believe. We've got Mr. Baggio, Skelly, and also Calabria. Very good quality referees. So I expect them to get it right. And they've probably got high hopes that they'll get it right as well. Especially Mr. Baggio, he has been the number one for years. I believe he's come back off an injury and he would like to get back to that mantle.
It's great to have such high calibre officiating at this tournament. And also wonderful that we can broadcast it to you for the very first time. Country Championships 2022. It is the Knights looking to get back into this one. They trail by 4. 5 tries to 1 for the Central Coast Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't think they had live stream back when I was playing, unfortunately. So these players are very lucky, and teams are very lucky. They can do a lot of review and a lot of footage, which improves their touch football.
I'd also like to point out how deprived our viewers have been to not see you in full flight, David Stone.
I wasn't much to watch, but I had a crack.
You're way too humble. So another set coming here for the Dolphins, and I don't think I've seen that called too many times. A little leg pull in the play the ball. That's a very rare call in touch football.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. These boys they all know each other, so they get along really well off the field, and a little bit of gamesmanship, I think it could have been.
Well, typically when you talk about pulling someone's leg, it's me suggesting that people have missed out when you were playing, as opposed to actually it occurring on the touch field as Ardita. Oh, what an acrobatic finish that is. Did he get around the defensive cover? Furthermore, is he all right?
Yeah, he could have hurt his shoulder here.
Well, unfortunately, it's not going to amount to much for him, because not only is he injured, but to add insult to that injury, Ardita has actually gone in for the try. So they're on the board again here, the Knights. Or should I say the Central Coast Dolphins. 6 tries to 1. Starting to get away from them here, Newcastle.
Yeah, and that was just against 5 defensive players too. We've got to remind ourselves. Still got Potts at the other end. So defensively, they are down 1. It'll be interesting to see if they can strike back with 5 on the field.
Just hear there from one of our officials, Kim Skelly, saying that this is the last set, so Potts will be invited back onto the field to give Newcastle the full complement at the completion of this one. He's getting ready, or Potts here is slowly strafing towards the sideline. Try and find the quickest passage for his teammates. Oh, lovely little pop pass there, but they've just got to touch in time. So Atkins tried to set something up late at the line. They won't get the strike dump to work with, and also with less numbers on the field, it's all a little bit too hard as Potts heads down the sideline and a fresh player back on out there.
Potts for Potts.
Potts for Potts. Potts, pans, and everything in between. So 10 metres into enemy territory. Ardita pops in at acting half. Kane plays it quickly. Here he is once more. More slippage. Oh, the flick pass comes out. Moffat over the top. Ardita wanted to step off that left foot. Good cover defence, though, from the Knights. Last play now. Moffat searches for Moffat and co. Another ball over the top here. Oh, great diving touch, though, to prevent another try from happening. It was Hugh Doherty, that 20s Origin representative, and that's why, Stoney.
Yeah, he's a good young kid. Nice young fella, but a really good defensive read there. He's been pretty good. He had one misread all game, but he's been pretty solid for a young man. This is his first Opens debut, so he's doing really well against the older boys.
Here he is, Doherty, with that last run, playing it just inside opposition territory. A couple of plays left for them as Ehlers drops enough through the middle. Last now, Ehlers off the right foot, trying to open up some sort of gap. Very smart play, though. Ran at an offside defender, so another set to work with here for Newcastle.
There's a nice setup for an M2. They had the passive out the back, which was available. Maybe it needed to be a little bit deeper, but it did open them up and get a penalty, a repeat set.
I think that'll be another repeat set, yes. So Moffat, a little bit cynical with that effort there. He never got back to the line, and batted the ball out of Ella's hands as he was going for the try.
Yeah, that's penalty 2 inside the 7. I'm not sure whether I'll call the first one a penalty inside the 7, but that is the second one. We could see somebody sat to the sideline if another penalty does occur.
We've already seen Potts forced to that in-goal area. The long ball comes. Oh, great pressure jamming in from out wide there from Wouters. So they head back towards the middle of the field now here, the Knights. Full complement back out there. Ella's waits in the middle. Gets it for them now. Long ball with the width held. Oh, did well to reel it in. Little bit of a juggle there from Brennan. He did well enough. Not much doing on that particular play though, so just that up and in pressure from the Dolphins is offering nothing for the Knights.
Yeah, I think they've got to change direction. They can take the Dolphins one way, but then they've got to change and come back against the grain, and that's where I think they can get the Dolphins.
Less than 5 minutes remaining for Newcastle to do so. They basically need to be perfect from this point and score with every possession of the footy. They certainly can't allow for another try here. Oh, that's just too nasty there. That is Mr. Cool. However, it's going to be called back. There was another little hop and a skip in there from German, and the flick pass would have been great for the highlights reel, but not to be.
He's got some pace, doesn't he? He's showed a bit of toe a couple of times now. He may be another one in the stash for cash.
Why do I feel you just want the entire Central Coast Dolphins side to race against one another?
Well, let's
just come out and say it, all right?
I think Adidas got them all, from what I'm hearing at training. But I'd like to see it happen. Bit of excitement around the venue. Crowd all around the grandstands. It'll be great to see.
Forget Farlap. Forget Mackay Diva. It's about Kaya Ardita and co. So long ball comes. Oh, little tip on there. Attempted from Ty. Quite low to the ground, though. It's going to be very difficult. Less than 4 minutes remaining. Once more, they're having a chat here. I was concerned they were going to send another player out. What's Potts doing hanging around the background here?
Fullback. New position in touch football.
I've never seen that in my time commentating, someone hanging 20 metres behind the play, but Potts just wanted a little rest there.
Yeah, no, he was ready to strike on touch too. I could see what he was doing.
Stoney, he doesn't play for the Wagga Wagga Vipers, right? No. There's no striking from that distance, mate.
I think he's trying to get Kalen Ponga's position.
Oh, here we go. Supposed to go to the Dolphins. We've actually got the Dolphins and Knights here, so where is Kalen Ponga? This is the perfect game for him.
He should be here, no.
Oh, Doherty with the big dummy sets off down the sideline. He's got oodles of pace. Forget Kalen Ponga. It's all about Hugh Doherty. Great stuff from the young man with his first Men's Open division.
Oh, he's pulled up a bit lame. Twinged his calf, I think, but...
I was going to say, the calf is an old man's injury. What's happening there for Hugh?
Yeah, no, he's only a young fella. He'll be right.
The cramps are coming out. He's called for the special water bottle here. This one is full of electrolytes.
Where's the pickle juice?
Oh, yeah, where is the pickle juice? I could go with pickle right now.
Oh, no, I'll pass on that.
Mate, think about it. Nice big juicy Angus beef burger with bacon, pickles, mustard and tomato with a bit of caramelised onion.
That was very specific.
It was, because that is exactly what I'm after. They don't have it here, unfortunately. Moffat is caught 7 metres away. More slippage coming from some of the Newcastle defenders. They'll play it inside the 7.
I reckon we'll see the two Moffat brothers here. I think they'll set something up, one of their little trick plays that they practice in the backyard at home.
It's good luck being the parents, and those two are taking you on. Even when they were about the age of 10, they would have been causing havoc.
Yeah, I know the Moffat's mum, and she's a lovely lady, but to put up with these two boys, I don't know how she does it.
Well, here is one of them now, and quick hands, it's all too easy. Ollie Jones has acres of space, a simple catch and pass, and he puts it down with no one in Kui, 7 tries to 2. They've officially booked their place if it wasn't already there. The Central Coast Dolphins, just under 2 minutes remaining here. And we're not 100% sure what's happening on the other field, but Dawson are in action. You'd imagine they would probably be the likely opponent for them in the grand final.
Dawson versus Beresfield, so it'd be interesting. Beresfield were a bit light on numbers early in the tournament, but I think if they get their numbers back, that could be a really close game, and we'll try and get a score for you very shortly.
Could be a smoky, but certainly one position in the grand final is wrapped up here from the Central Coast Dolphins. They play it quickly here, the Knights. Threaten to go over the top and long. Ty flings it back towards the centre. Atkins off the right foot, once more slipping. So it's been difficult coming here in that centre of the pitch. especially on that try-line area. You can just start to see a lot of that green stuff disappearing in favour of the mud. A couple of flick passes there, not producing any result though. Lands perfectly on that 7 metre mark for the changeover here for the Dolphins as Potts comes in to affect the touch. And that one is going to go against the Dolphins there. Thought they might have got away with one, Newcastle. Could have been a stray foot in the play of the ball.
Yeah, this is where the Dolphins need to be clinical towards the end of this game. They really need to finish it off. They can't relax, even though the game's won. This is good experience for State Cup.
Well, they'll only have to do so with one final play here. Ty isn't going to do too much except for one hell of a goose step. It doesn't fool anyone, though, and the Dolphins have booked their place in the grand final for the Country Championships 2022 Men's Open Division. We'll try and get you an update as we can for what's occurred on the other side of the field. Just having a look at the players. No one going off too much at the moment.
We've got a score coming through. It is 6-3 to Doilo, so it'll be Doilo versus Central Coast Grand Final.
And all Central Coast matchup for the grand final in the Men's Open Division. That should be an absolute cracker. We've got Origin and Australian reps galore featuring in that one, so don't go too far. That'll be in a few games' time, but up for you next. Another semi-final coming your way. We'll have a team sheet and confirmation as to exactly which side that will be. But keep it locked here on Bar TV for all the action. As we then head to the mixed senior division between the Beresfield Bandits and once more Newcastle, who are featuring heavily in our semi-finals. But that game coming in about 5 minutes' time, courtesy of Bar TV on New South Wales Touch Football.